Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we welcome everybody this evening to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Suva branch. About 2 weeks ago, I arrived in the Nandi airport and stayed for a week in the Lotaka area. And during that time, I had occasion to visit with many of the local residents of the area. Naturally, when a Swami comes to the city, people are eager to invite him. And in each place, I was brought into the deity room because everybody has some puja going on in their homes. So I was very much happy to visit with everyone. And in each place, I also had an opportunity to talk with the people living there. So one question which repeatedly came up was that people seem somewhat confused that who is the Supreme God. And therefore, tonight we wanted to discuss this subject matter regarding God, demigods, and incarnations. So in this regard, you may see our altar tonight. We have many pictures there. These personalities who are exhibited on our altar this evening are perhaps most often seen in people's homes. So we wanted to discuss a little bit with everyone here what is their idea about who is the Supreme? Who is the Supreme Lord? Some people say one particular God, another people say another, some of them say everyone. So we will be asking now a few of you. So you kindly tell us what is your idea of who is supreme and what is your reason. And then we will try to understand from the Shastra what the actual facts are. So I can ask a few people. Somebody can volunteer. Yes?
Well, from the pictures I can see, I think it's Lord Jesus.
So what would be your reason for selecting Lord Jesus?
Well, he's the Son of God.
He's the Son of God. All right. Does anybody else have some choice? Who else? Wait, yes, sir? You can, this gentleman in the checkered shirt, you could give us your opinion, please. Take the microphone. What is your name, sir?
Amrit Lal.
Amrit Lal. You're a resident of the Suva area?
Yes.
Are you a businessman
Yes.
here? What is your business?
Duty free and gift items.
Very good. So, Amrit Lal, could you give us an idea? If you had to select the Supreme God, who would you select from this altar?
Well, I think there are two main sects. Say, those who believe in Shiva and those who believe in Vishnu.
Yes, we have
There
both
are
of their
two-
pictures.
These two, Shiva, those who pray Shiva, and those who pray Vishnu have Vaishnava.
Now,
I think
who-
there's two ways.
Now you have to say which is your preference.
Well, I prefer both.
Very good. That's what we want to know tonight. Thank you very much, Amrit Lal. What is your good name, sir?
Raman Lal.
Raman. Same name. Are you related? No, not related. Raman Lal. Are you also a resident of Suva?
Yes,
Are you a businessman here?
businessman.
What is your business?
Custom house agent.
Oh, very important position. So, Raman Lal, could you give us an idea? If you were asked, who is the Supreme God?
Lord Krishna is the Supreme God.
Lord Krishna. Could you give some reason?
Reason according to Gita and Bhagavad, he is the Supreme God.
So you would base your reason on the philosophy presented in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Bhagavad Gita, yes.
Thank you very much. This gentleman sitting
Thank you.
in front of you, what is your good name?
Jagdish.
Jagadish. That is a very good name. Lord of the universe. Jagadish means Lord of the universe. We usually, if we give someone the name Jagadish, we say Jagadish Das. But anyway, Jagadish, if you had to, are you a resident here, Suva area?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Are you a businessman here?
Yeah.
What is your business?
Well, a little bit of wholesale.
Wholesale?
Yeah.
Different items?
That's right, yeah.
Supermarket?
No.
What type of materials are you wholesaling?
Oh, just
Different items?
general item, yeah.
General items. So, Jagadish, if you had to select someone on the altar from the many pictures, who would you select as the Supreme God?
Well, I think Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. Could you give your reasons why you would select Lord Shiva?
No particular reason, but well, I have heard that Lord Shiva is the most kind.
Very merciful. Easily pleased. Have you been worshipping Lord Shiva for a long time?
No, sir.
Then how are you sure that he's the most merciful?
Well, I have heard of.
You've heard.
Yes.
Word of mouth. All right. That's good. Then, all right. If you had to select from these pictures who is God, who would you choose?
I love all of them, but I know the Lord Krishna and Rama and Vishnu is the Supreme God.
You respect and love them all, but of all of them, you select three as Supreme God.
Yes.
Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Krishna.
Krishna is.
All right. Then, what is your good name, sir?
Nagin.
So, Nagin, judging at all of the pictures on this altar, if you had to select a supreme God from amongst them, would you want to select any one in particular, or more than one, or all of them? Which would you do?
Well, it is a little difficult to say that something is supreme or the other is supreme, but exactly I would not be able to say who is supreme.
Difficult to say. That's all right. That is also an answer. Just like when you take these tests, you'll be asked to select choice A, B, C, and there's choice D, which is none of these, or none of the above. You'll find that in the Shastra, there are discussions between the guru and the disciple, and sometimes the disciple will say, I'm not sure. So that's also a genuine answer. Sir, could you give us your good name?
Hasmukh is my name.
All right. Hashmukh, are you a resident of Suva?
Yeah, I am.
And are you having any business here?
Yeah, I'm in import and export trade.
Very good. So, Hashmukh, if you had to select who is God from all of these pictures on the altar, who would you select?
Brahma, I would say.
You would say Brahma.
Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh.
You'll say all three.
Yeah.
One or three?
Brahma is one.
You'll take Brahma.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, there is a picture of Brahma there. He's shown on the top left hand. Would you like to give a reason for that?
He's the creator of the universe.
Because he's the creator of the universe. All right, Hashmukh, thank you very much. The lady there, yes?
એમાં બધાને ભગવાન માને
All of them.
સૌ એક સમાન.
Everybody. All are one. All right, thank you very much. You can pass the microphone over. This young lady. What is your good name?
My name is Kumudem Gohil.
All right. Are you from Suva?
Yes.
So, now of all of these pictures here, who is the supreme God? Who is God?
I would select Lord Krishna as the supreme.
Could you give your reason why, please?
Because it is stated in Srimad Bhagavad that he is the supreme Lord.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, there may be some pictures, or there may be some persons whose pictures are not shown on this altar. Someone here may think that there is God, but his picture is not on this altar. There's a different God that's not shown here. So if anyone thinks like that, let them raise their hand now. Yes, sir. What is your name?
Kanti.
Kanti. So Kanti, do you find any picture here to be the supreme God, or is there someone else you think could be supreme?
I think that Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba is the supreme God.
I see. So could you give your reason, please?
If God exists, then he has to be present. And Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba is present at the moment in India.
But we are all present also.
Yes, but he can do things that we cannot do.
Such as, please?
He is able to create things. He is able to perform miracles.
He creates what kind of things? Can you give an example, please?
He can produce some gold if you want.
Who is the jewelry man here? You have a jewelry shop? Do you have any gold in your shop? So, is he God?
No, he is not God, but he only works on gold, but Sai Baba can produce gold.
But the result is the same. Both of them have gold, correct?
Yes, but if I went to Mr. Jogya and if I asked him for an ounce of gold, he won't give it to me, but if you went to Sai Baba, he would give you an ounce of gold.
So this makes him God.
Makes him God.
Any other reasons?
If you have got any problems like any disease or anything like that, then if you go to him, if you have faith in him, then he can cure your disease.
But hospitals are also doing that.
Yes, but he can cure diseases which our doctors cannot.
Such as, please?
Cancer.
Has he cured the disease called death?
I don't know. I don't think he has had the opportunity to do so.
What do you mean he hasn't had the opportunity? People are dying all the time. Why doesn't he stop people from dying? If he says he's God, he can do that. So some of his devotees are dying?
I think so. But none of them have requested that you make me alive again. If somebody did that, then he might be able to make him alive.
I see. Does he say he is God?
I think he says he's God.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody else who thinks that some other person besides those here are God? Who would you select?
There are many people in Fiji who believe that Guru Maharaj is God because he can produce light.
Light or life?
Light, L-I-G-H-T.
But the electricity board is also doing that.
But, yeah,
so why aren't they God?
Well, this is what many people in Fiji believe.
Does he produce as much light as the sun?
Perhaps not.
And in the city where he lives, does it ever get nighttime?
Oh yeah. But he can produce light even in the night, so they believe.
I see. All right, thank you very much. Tonight we have taken a survey poll to try to understand who is the supreme. And we have many pictures before us, and we have to try to understand then who is the Supreme. So I shall try to shed some light in this regard. The first picture that we see is the picture of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is described as in the Brahma Samhita, Shiram yata dadivikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pritagasti heto yatsambhutama pitata samupaiti karyat govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. This prayer was originally recited by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is mentioned as one of the 12 Mahajans. The Mahajans are the great authorities of each universe. And Lord Brahma is, of course, the first authority, because Tainhe Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. Lord Brahma was instructed from within the heart all Vedic knowledge, because he is the first personality within this universe. And it is from Lord Brahma that we find Lord Shiva taking his birth. As you probably know, Lord Shiva is called Rudra. One of his names is Rudra, because being angry, from between the eyebrows of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva took his birth. So this verse from the Brahma Samhita describes that just as milk is transformed by acid into curd, in the same way, although it is transformed into curd, it is both milk, and yet it does not act like milk, because milk and dahi are two different substances. In the same way, for the purpose of destroying the universe, Lord Krishna, Govinda, transforms himself into Lord Shiva. So, from the authority of Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma gives us information that Lord Shiva is known as Gunavatar. There are 3 gunas: Tamagun, Rajagun, and Satagun. So Lord Shiva is in charge of this Tamagun, and his specific purpose is that he is responsible, among other things, for the destruction of this universe. However, we find very often, you will see, that Lord Shiva himself is chanting on Japamala. So, from this we have to understand that Lord Shiva is a devotee of someone. Otherwise, why he's chanting on Japamala? So, we'll find from Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Shiva is actually worshipping Shankarshan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Shiva actually prays, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samacharam. He says that of all the types of worship, the worship of Vishnu is the most superior. But even better than the worship of Vishnu is the worship of those things connected with Vishnu, just like the devotee, pure devotee of Vishnu, or the Vaishnavas. So, from this description, we can understand that Lord Shiva is known as Param Vaishnava. He's the topmost worshipper, but he's never called the most worshipful. Someone has commented that they worship Lord Shiva because he is most merciful. In this regard, you must be familiar that Lord Shiva's another name is Ashutosh. because he is very easily pleased, but at the same time he can also be very easily angered. There's one nice story which we will find, in which one big demon, who was a devotee of Lord Shiva, prayed that, "My dear Lord Shiva, please grant me some boon." What is that boon? The boon is that whosever head I touch, that head shall fall off his body. So because he was a great devotee, Lord Shiva granted him this boon. And what did the demon do? The first thing he thought, let me try out this new boon that I have by touching Lord Shiva's head. So he began to chase Lord Shiva all over the universe and put him into great trouble. So finally Lord Shiva had to seek the shelter of Krishna. And then Krishna went up and told this demon, "My dear friend, don't you know that this Lord Shiva, he's always making these false promises. After all, look who he's associated with. There's no truth to this. Everybody knows that he makes so many promises, but there's no real basis to them. You go ahead and touch your own head and you'll see, nothing will happen." So the foolish rascal immediately touched his head, and of course what happened? It fell off. In this way, Lord Shiva was put out of difficulty. Now why I'm bringing this story up is to show you that although Lord Shiva is very easily pleased, sometimes his boons are not really beneficial for a person. You see? Because generally we find that the class of people who worship Lord Shiva worship him for some material benefits. Because he's easily pleased, they worship him for some material benefits. Just like you'll find that one of the biggest devotees of Lord Shiva in history is Ravan. Everybody knows the history of Ramayana. You'll know that Ravana is a big devotee. He's a Shiva Bhakta. But kindly note that when gradually at the end of Ramayana, when Ravana's life was put at risk by Lord Ram, could Lord Shiva save him? No. This means that when the Supreme Lord wants to kill someone, no one can save him. And when he wants to save someone, no one can kill him. This is actually the position of only God. So during this incident with Ravan, his good consort asked him, "My dear Shiva, Ravana is a great devotee of yours. Why don't you protect him from Ram?" And Lord Shiva's reply is, "What is the use? When God wants to kill someone, not even I can protect him." Well, there are many incidences and many authoritative statements by which we have to understand that Lord Shiva's specific powers are wielded within this material creation. We do not find them existing in the spiritual realm known as Vaikuntha Loka. His potencies are exercised within this material world. He is actually in charge of the destruction of this material creation. As such, he represents a particular part of the power of God. When we analyze the actual extent of Lord Shiva's potencies, we find that he does not possess 100% of the qualities of Godhead. There are 50 qualities which all living entities possess in a minute degree as part of the qualities of God. And Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma possess 55 of these qualities. But altogether, there are 64 qualities which make up the Supreme. Therefore, from a analytical point of view, we have to say that Lord Shiva cannot be called the Supreme Bhagavan, although sometimes he is addressed as Bhagavan because he is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. Just like you'll find that even Narad Muni, who is another devotee of the Lord, is sometimes addressed as Bhagavan. This is to indicate great respect shown for a pure devotee of the Lord. Next to Lord Shiva's picture, we find the goddess Durga or Kali. And in this regard, we have another statement from Brahma Samhita. Shristi stiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibarti durga ichchana rupam api yasya chachestati sa govindam adi purusham tamaham vajami. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Durga is called as such because she is the keeper of the prison house. This material world is also known as Durga. This material world is compared to be like a prison house because each of us are kept within the prison of this material world, unable to exercise our real freedom. What is our real freedom? To be eternal, to be full of knowledge, and to be full of bliss. But here in this material world, we're forced to take repeated birth and death, suffering so many difficulties. These difficulties are stated as Adhyatmic, Adivaitic, and Adidevic. Adhyatmic miseries means the miseries caused by the body and the mind. Adivaitic, this misery, means miseries caused by other living entities. And Adidevic miseries are miseries caused by natural disturbances, like too much drought or too much water. So all of us who live within this conditioned world are suffering these difficulties, and this is therefore called Durga, or the material prison house. This Durga, or material prison house, is under the control of Durga Devi, or Goddess Kali. She is the material potency of the Lord. Maya dyakshena prakriti suyate sa charachanam hetunanena konteya jagat viparivartate. This material energy, known as Maya, or Durga, is creating all of the material bodies which exist within this world. But this material potency is working under my control, Krishna says. There are many such statements. Daivihi eshagunamahi mamamaya daratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayamitam tarantite. This material nature, Maya, or prison house, is very difficult to get free from. But one who surrenders unto me, Krishna says, can easily cross beyond it. So actually, this Durga, Goddess Durga, Kali, she is like the mother of the universe, and therefore she is worshipped by some as supreme. But we should always understand that although a mother gives birth to a child, it is the father who has to plant the seed in the mother before the child can be born. Therefore we here have the statement, Bijamam sarva bhutanam, and later on, Aham bija pratapita. So we find in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. So although Durga is the mother of this entire creation and the mother of all the living entities throughout the universe, she's the original mother. The original seed-giving father is Krishna. Therefore, it is not the mother ultimately who is responsible for the birth, but it is the father who plants the seed. So, from this we should understand that even Goddess Kali or Durga is not free on her own. She also has to take instruction. She is also serving someone. You'll find that she cannot enter into the transcendental realm, but she has to stand from the outside looking in the spiritual world, because her realm of jurisdiction is only within this material world. Actually, she's a great devotee of the Lord, but she has a very thankless task. Just like the prison house keeper, no one really likes him, but actually he's a very good servant of the state. So she is the dearmost servant of God, but she has a very thankless task. She has to keep the living entities within this material world. However, for one who surrenders unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, very easily, Mayamitam tarantite, very easily, Goddess Kali or Durga will help this person to get out of the material world. That means that Maya has two forms, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. This Yoga Maya means the internal potency, spiritual potency of the Lord, which serves the devotee. And the Mahamaya is the external manifestation of Yoga Maya, which keeps us within this material world. Naham prakasha sarvasya Yoga Maya samabrita mudoyam nabijananti lokamam ajamavyam. Krishna states that for those who are too materially attached, he covers them by this Yoga Maya covering, so that they cannot understand his supreme position. To the right, we can see the next picture is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Many people worship Lakshmi Devi because they hope to get great wealth. Lakshmi, of course, is also known as Chanchala, because she moves around very quickly. Therefore, we find that although people worship Lakshmi, how long they can stay wealthy for? As it is said, you come into this world naked, and you have to leave naked, without anything. So although you may be a very good devotee of Lakshmi, how long she can help you? As soon as you give up this body, you lose your big bank account. You lose your big house. You lose everything. So actually, Lakshmi is Chanchala. She will not stay with anyone unless they know this secret, that Lakshmi is controlled by one person. Who is that one person? His name is Lakshminath, the Lord of Lakshmi. And that personality is Narayan. We have seen in India that many large families, perhaps you have heard of the Birlas, you see, they are very great devotees of Lakshmi Narayan. And as a result, they are fabulously wealthy. They either worship Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, or Radha Krishna. I will gradually explain what the relationship is between these three. In any case, Lakshmi is described. Lakshmi sahasa satasam brahmasevyamanam govindam adi purusham tamaham vajami. Again, same Brahma Samhita describes that in the transcendental realm, known as Goloka. What is Goloka? Goloka is the highest planet in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are planets which never are destroyed. Here within this universe, all the planets become destroyed. And all the universes will one day be destroyed. Because it is described that these universes are coming out with each breath of Mahavishnu. This Mahavishnu is so great a personality that just by his breathing, he breathes out universes. And how long is the life of a universe? That we have described yesterday. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu. Lord Brahma, his one day is made up of 1,000 kalpas. So what is a kalpa? A kalpa, one day, is made up of the cycle of 4 yugas. 4 yugas takes 4,320,000 years. So 1,000 times 4,320,000 years, that is one day of Brahma. Brahma lives for one day, one night, that's one full day. 30 such times makes 1 month. 12 months makes 1 year, and he lives for 100 years. And that is the duration of one universe. And all of that is one breath of Mahavishnu. To try to picture how great is this Mahavishnu. That one breath is 311 trillion 40 billion years is one breath of Mahavishnu. You see. Try to understand what God's nature is. When you start speaking that so-and-so is God because some light comes out of his body or some gold is produced, then he should be able, that one of his breaths should last for 311 trillion years. That is God. And even that is not the full Godhead. That is Mahavishnu. There's still more than that. We should understand clearly what is God. So, we're describing that Lakshmi, hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, or goddesses of fortune, are in this Goloka planet. And what are they doing? They're Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. They're all worshipping Govinda. So Lakshmi cannot be considered the supreme, but she is the consort of the supreme. That is the point. The Supreme Lord is always seen with his energy. Energy, Purusha, and Prakriti. So Lakshmi is the supreme energy of the Lord. But energy has to have an energetic source. Just like light doesn't come of its own. Light has a source, the powerhouse. So similarly, Lakshmi has a source, and that source is the Supreme Lord. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So one who wants to satisfy Lakshmi simply has to satisfy her master. If therefore you satisfy her master, she becomes very pleased. You know perhaps that Lakshmi is always residing on the chest of Narayan. I think you may know that. She never leaves Narayan's chest. But anyone who simply worships her without Narayan, that is the business of Ravan. Why do I say that? Because Ravana, he stole away Sita Devi. Sita Devi is another form of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. So Ravana, he wanted to enjoy Sita without Ram. And what was the result for Ravan? He got killed by Ram. Anyone, therefore, who tries to enjoy Lakshmi without Narayan, he will one day end in death, just like Ravana. So our business has to be like Hanuman. What is Hanuman's duty? Hanuman's business is to bring Sita back to Ram. Therefore, our duty should be that whatever wealth we're making, whatever we need for our family, you may use. But all excess should be offered at the lotus feet of Lord Narayan, or Lord Krishna, or Lord Ram. Then automatically, Lakshmi becomes very, very pleased. So this is Lakshmi Devi. Next to Lakshmi, you'll see the elephant god, Ganesh, who also many people worship. In this regard, we may also hear from Brahma Samhita, Yat pada palava yugam vinidaiva kumbha dvande pranama samaye saganadi raja vignan vihanta malamasya jagatrayasya govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. The translation is, I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesh upon the pair of tumalai protruding from his elephant head, in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds. Therefore, you'll find that over many doors, people keep the picture of Ganesh, because this means that anyone who enters through the door should get auspiciousness. But here we find in Brahma Samhita that Lord Ganesh, who has this two tumalai protruding from his head, he keeps Govinda or Krishna's lotus feet resting upon this tumalai. You may not see that in the picture, but this is the verse from Brahma Samhita. Let us understand that these artists are not always fully realized. Many times they're painting so many concocted things. But the actual statement is by hearing, you see. Shastra Chaksu. What does Shastra Chaksu mean? It means you have to see, not with these eyes, but with the eyes of Shastra. We have to hear. Hearing is more important than seeing. At night time when you're lying in bed and a thief comes into your house to steal something, will you see him? No, but you may hear him. You may hear him. That may save you. If he bunks something and makes a sound, you may wake up and save yourself. So hearing is given more stress. Krishna says in Gita, Tachnu, hear from me. He doesn't say see me, because a great personality is not to be seen, he's to be heard. Some magical display producing something out of the air, this is not the proof of God. God has to be first of all heard. Let someone speak Bhagavad Gita, then we can accept them as God. But simply to steal the words from Bhagavad Gita and pretend that they're spoken by oneself, this is called plagiarism. In the material world, you may know that if you publish a book and someone takes some section of that book and reprints it without your permission, he's subject to being taken to court for libel. It's called plagiarism. So similarly, here is God, Krishna, speaking Bhagavad Gita. And in order to make themselves God, people start to use Krishna's words and say, see, I'm speaking and it means me. This is called plagiarism. Just like Krishna says, Sarvadhamam parityaja mamekam saranam vraja. He said, give up everything and surrender to me. So if I start speaking Gita and say, Sarvadhamam parityaja mamekam saranam, give up everything and surrender to me, then I become a cheater. Because Krishna is saying about Krishna, not about me. If I say to you, give me water, and you say, Swamiji said, give me water, that me means me, and then you drink the water, what kind of understanding that is? When Krishna says, aham, or mam, he's speaking I, me, Krishna. He's not speaking that now you repeat Gita, and you take I or me to mean yourself. So, Ganesh never makes this mistake. He always sees himself as a servant of God. He's very humble in this respect. He knows that whatever power he has is coming from the Supreme Lord. Actually, you'll find in Bhagavad Gita that this statement is there. Krishna says that I give the devotees the faith by which to worship the demigods. And similarly says, I make the demigods powerful enough to reward benedictions upon man. So ultimately, for all benedictions, the ultimate source will be found to be Krishna. Next in line, we see a picture of Hanuman. And I have already described to everybody that Hanuman never thinks himself God. Hanuman is a pure devotee of Lord Ram. If you told Hanuman, Hanuman, you are actually God. You take the position of Ram and you enjoy Sita. Hanuman would immediately take you by the neck and kill you. He would never think of such a thing because he doesn't see himself as God, he sees himself as the devotee of God. And this is the real sign of someone who's advanced spiritually. Someone who's advanced spiritually, they never tolerate being called God. They will never tolerate such a thing. Sometimes I have heard that some guru is called God, but actually he doesn't want to be called that, but his disciples are calling him that. But if any guru is really worth his value, he'll never allow his disciples to make such a mistake of calling him God. We will find out soon enough what are the qualifications of God. Hanuman, at least, will never make this mistake. He sees himself as the devotee. Perhaps you have seen, there's a picture of Hanuman opening up his heart. And who is in there? Lakshman and Ram. That's Hanumanji's heart. And that's confirmed in the Shastra. There's a verse that within the heart of the devotee, God is residing. And within the heart of the Lord, the devotee is residing. So this statement is there in Shastra to confirm it. So then we will go a bit higher up on the altar to the top level, and we find a picture of Lord Brahma. And he is also mentioned. In the Shastra, we find the following statement. That Lord Brahma is described that he is the creator of this universe. But note, where does Lord Brahma come from? He is born on the lotus coming from the navel of Vishnu. Lord Brahma actually is Jivatma. Anyone sitting here today can become a Lord Brahma. In every universe, there is such a personality. The Brahma in this universe, because this is the smallest of the universes, is called Chaturmukhi Brahma, four-headed Brahma. But there are Brahmas with many more than four heads. Perhaps you know that once Lord Brahma wanted to pay a call on Lord Krishna. So he knocked on the door, and the doorkeeper came and said, "Who is knocking there?" He said, "Lord Brahma, I have come to see Lord Krishna." So the doorkeeper immediately went to Krishna and said, Krishna, Lord Brahma is here to see you. So Krishna's question was, please ask him which Brahma. So the doorkeeper went back and went to the Brahma and said, my dear Brahma, who are you? Which Brahma? Krishna wants to know. Lord Brahma said, what do you mean, which Brahma? So he gradually came in. He said, my dear Krishna, I have a question to ask. When I came to the door, your doorkeeper asked me, which Brahma am I? He said, are there any other Brahmas? Then Krishna smiled, and suddenly, from all the different universes, the different Brahmas started to come. Some had 10 heads, some had 100 heads, some had 1,000 heads, some had 10,000 heads, some had 1 million heads, some had 10 million heads, and all of them were placing their crowned heads upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And Lord Brahma began to feel like a little mosquito amongst these huge Brahmas. He was astounded. Then gradually Krishna gave his blessings. They said, my Lord, is there anything that we can do for you? And he said, no, I have just called to find out, is everything going on? You may all go back to your universes and carry on with your business. So they all went back. Then Lord Brahma began to appreciate the uniqueness of Krishna. So this is the position then of Brahma. Brahma is known as an engineer. But Brahma is not the creator of the elements which he engineers. Just like one gentleman has said that he believed in a certain person because he could produce gold. But that gold, the original elements which produce the gold, no one can do. You see, actually, you may be surprised to know, but there is Yoga Siddhi. There are 8 different types of Yoga Siddhis, and one of them is called Prapta Siddhi. Prapta Siddhi means that you can acquire anything you want from any particular place at any time. There's another Siddhi. Siddhi means perfection. Another Siddhi is Laghima Siddhi. Laghima Siddhi means that you can travel to the sun by the sun ray. Altogether there's 8 types of Siddhis. One of them is that you can become lighter than the lightest. Another is that you can become able to create an entire universe. Now, you'll find that the airplanes, for example, they have already got this Siddhi of lighter than air. They can float. And there's another Siddhi by which you can penetrate through rock and mountains. The material scientists have already done this. There was one German man who was a very great devotee. He decided to go to India. And when he went there, he wanted to study yoga. So he was asked whether he would study for the different yoga siddhis. And he said, what for? Gradually the scientists are learning all of these. He said, I want to learn what no scientist, no materialist can know. And what is that? I want to learn about God. He said, that I cannot learn from these material yogis. So because someone can have this prapta siddhi, or make something appear in the air, does not make him God. This is a very common siddhi. Nowadays, in this age, there are not many yogis who have this power. But formerly, it was common practice of all the yogis. It was not a very wonderful thing for them to do. Because as I said, what is the value of gold? As much gold as you produce, we can purchase in our friend's jewelry shop. What is the great value of it? Or a disease, it can be cured in a hospital. But let that yogi cure death. Let that person who calls himself Bhagavan cure death. Who is able to cure death? Mukunda. Mukunda means one who gives liberation beyond death. And who is that Mukunda? Krishna. One who surrenders unto Krishna never has to take his birth again in this material world. Janma karma chame divyam yovam beti tattataha takta deham puna janma naiti mameti, so Arjuna. Such a person never has to take his birth again in this material world. One who remembers Krishna at the time of death never has to come back into this material world. This is Krishna's promise. Not simply that he'll cure cancer or leukemia. That is not the disease. That is the symptom of the disease. The disease is this material body. The symptom of the material body is cancer, leukemia, cold, heart attack, so many different symptoms. But what's the disease? You have a body that can get sick. And who can give spiritual life? Who can give spiritual body? That only Krishna can do. Only Krishna can do that. So we should not pray to someone because they manifest some yogic siddhis. This does not show that a person is God. It shows that they're a yogi. But Krishna is known as Yogeshwara. He's the supreme yogi. Yogi namapi sarveshan mat gatenantaratmana. He's the supreme of all yogis. So we were describing Brahma. I think that I have quoted many verses from Brahma Samhita, but Brahma always prays Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Lord Brahma himself, even he cannot award Amara or deathlessness. Another big demon, Hiranyakasipu. Have you heard his name? Those of you who heard his name? He's the father of Prahlad Maharaj. So he was a big Rakshasa. He prayed to Brahma, give me life when I will never have to die. And what is Brahma's answer? My dear sir, even I have to die. So how can someone say that Brahma is the supreme? The supreme is eternal. He never dies. Therefore, Lord Brahma cannot be called the supreme. Lord Brahma is only the creator or engineer of this universe. The actual creator is not Brahma. Just like I may give you gold, and from that gold you may make jewelry. So you are engineering something, but you're not creating the element gold. If someone says they can produce gold, why do they only produce a little quantity? Let them produce a gold mine from which we can take out of the vein hundreds and millions of dollars worth of gold. Then we can start to believe that this person is God. Why a little gold trinket? I can buy it in his shop. Let someone create 100 million tons of gold, or say 1,000 pounds of gold. That's reasonable. 1 to 10,000 pounds of gold. Then we may begin to accept him as God. I mean, that's got some value. Otherwise, any jeweler can produce some gold also. He may bring it out of the air, or he may bring it out of his shelf, but anyway, he's producing it. Let us not accept God so cheaply. Certainly Brahma himself never declares himself to be Bhagavan. You'll never find Brahma called Bhagavan. In fact, there's an interesting story in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Brahma's son is known as Narad Muni. He happens to be the son of Brahma. And he once said to the Lord, my dear Brahma, I see that all of the different demigods are paying homage to you. Are you the supreme? He said, but sometimes I see that you're also praying. Please tell me who is the supreme. Then Brahma spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam and explained the science of devotion to Krishna, telling Narad that actually I'm not the supreme, but Lord Krishna is. Our line of parampara, or disciplic succession, comes through Lord Brahma. Krishna is the beginning of that line. And the first to hear it is Brahma, and then Narad, and from Narad to Vyasadeva. And so our teaching has come down. Next to Lord Brahma, we see the picture of Vishnu. But as I have described, Vishnu is the father of Brahma. Brahma is born on the navel of Vishnu. But this Vishnu is also not the full supreme, because Vishnu's business is the creation of the material world. Vishnu is the creator of the entire cosmic situation. There are three Vishnus. First, Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu, from his breathing comes millions of universes. That I have told you about. And then the next is Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. Within each universe, one Vishnu comes, and from his navel comes Brahma. And then within every living entity's heart, Paramatma, Shirodakshayi Vishnu. These are the three Vishnus. But each one of them functions within the material creation. Paramatma is the Lord of the heart. Garbhodakshayi Vishnu is the Lord of one universe. And Karanadakshayi Vishnu, or Mahavishnu, is the Lord of the entire material creation. But all of them are an expansion of Shankarshan. Shankarshan is the four-armed form of the Lord in Vaikuntha. And Shankarshan comes from Balaram. And Balaram is expanded from Krishna. Therefore you'll find in the Srimad Bhagavatam the statement, Ete Changsa Kalaha Pungsha Krishna Stu Bhagavan Sayam. So this Son of God, Jesus Christ, is accepted by us as a pure devotee of the Lord. He's a pure devotee. Every one of us is the Son of God. Jesus says that everyone are like sheep, because actually people are not very spiritually intelligent, and he has to be like the shepherd. So the shepherd means guru. For the guru, the disciples are like sheep. They have to take guidance from the guru. You'll find that Christians sometimes say, no man cometh unto the Father except through Jesus Christ. But the original Greek does not say that. It says, no man cometh unto the Father except by way of the Son. The Greek word doesn't say through him, it says through the Son. So who is Son of God? Anyone who follows strictly the order of his Father, he becomes the worthy Son. That means Guru is necessary. And we also say this, no one can approach God directly. One must go through Guru. Just like if you want to see the Prime Minister, you cannot go and see him directly. You have to take appointment with his secretary. Similarly, if you want to see God, you cannot do so directly. You have to first of all be introduced by his secretary. The Guru is the secretary of God. So this is the position of Jesus Christ as Son of Krishna, Son of God. Next we see the Lord Ram, and from this we may also find the statement in Brahma Samhita. Ramari murtishu kala niyamena tishtam namavataram akarod bhuvaneshu kinto Krishna sayam samabhavat paramapumanyo govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma is worshipping Govinda Krishna, who is the source of all of the different avatars, like Ram, Baraha, and Nrsimha. Lord Ram is known as Avatar, but Krishna is known as Avatari. He is the source of all avatars. Now Lord Ram is considered Vishnu Tattva. Anyone who answered that Lord Vishnu or Lord Ram is supreme, they're correct. They are correct. And if one worships them, he definitely gets liberation beyond this material world. And there is a planet where Lord Ramchandra is, in the spiritual world, and one may go there. But still we should understand from the technical point of view of analyzing, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, and Ram is one of his expansions. But anyone who worships can worship Lord Ram perfectly all right. You're worshipping the Supreme Lord. Vishnu, Ram, Narayan, these are Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu Tattva. And then, of course, next we find Radha Krishna, who actually I think the greatest number of people answered that Krishna was God. So Krishna says, Mata Partanam Nanyat Kinchirasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protram Sutre Managanaiva. He says, there's no truth equal to me, and there's nothing superior to me. Everything is resting on me as pearls are strung on a thread. Now who can say that? Who else can make that claim? All of these other demigods don't say that. They're worshipping Govinda. But Govinda is enjoying because he's the supreme bhakta. And in fact, Krishna says that I am the supreme enjoyer. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, anyone who makes an offering to other gods offers without proper understanding, because these offerings are meant for my enjoyment actually. Therefore you'll find, Kamaistaisterdatagana prapadyante anya devata. Anyone who worships a demigod, his doing this out of material desire. This is a statement of Gita. His intelligence is stolen by material desire. Then, Antavatu falantesham tadbhavati alpamedasham deva devo yajo yanti mad bhakti yanti mamapi. Anyone who worships a demigod, he gets temporary and limited results. One who worships a demigod goes to the planet of the demigods. But one who worships me comes to my supreme abode. Krishna is known as the Adidevam. He's the origin of all the demigods. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. This is Arjuna's statement about Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti vatvavadante mam buddhavava samanvita. Krishna says, I am the source of everything. From me the entire creation flows. The wise who know this worship me with all their hearts. There are so many unlimited statements. Vedesya sarverdaham eva vedyo vedantacrit veda videva chaham. By all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known as the goal of the Vedas. No other personality, and even no other incarnation of God, has ever exhibited the amazing pastimes which Krishna demonstrated when he came on this planet 5,000 years ago. Even from his birth, it was extraordinary. All the demigods gathered to pray for Krishna's appearance. Krishna was first born as four-armed Narayan, complete with crown and jewels and a full head of hair. At his birth, his father, Vasudev, carried him across the raging river of the Jamuna. His birth celebration was performed with all opulence and splendor by the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna is known as Makanchor, or one who steals butter. Sometimes he would feed it to the monkeys. And sometimes his mother, Yasoda, would become very angry and begin to chase him for stealing butter. One time she bound him by a mortar, and then Krishna pulled down the twin Yamalarjun trees. When he was only a little baby, Krishna killed a big demoness, Putana, who came to poison him. The whirlwind demon Trinavarta was also killed by Lord Krishna. And Bakasura, the big demon stork, had his beaks broken in half by little Krishna. Who else could kill so many big demons like Krishna? There was the big snake demon, Aghasura, whose teeth were as big as mountain peaks, and Krishna killed him. The bull demon came to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. All of these demons were sent by Kamsa, but Krishna killed them. And not only did he kill them, he liberated each and every one of them. Then the horse, Keshi, came and whinnied and neighed and charged at Krishna. But Krishna punched him with one hand and killed him. The evil-minded Kamsa, Krishna's uncle, who had caused pain to all the residents of the world, was killed by Krishna's slapping back and forth across the face. Perhaps the most famous of all of Krishna's pastimes is his killing the serpent Kaliya. He and his brother have wonderful pastimes together. Krishna and Balaram jumping from the mountain. Krishna and Balaram running through the fields. Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys playing with their friends, imitating the animals. Krishna and his friends eating prasadam in the fields and tending the cows. One day they went into the forest and killed the Dhenukasura demon. No one can believe Krishna's pastimes. Even Lord Brahma became amazed and tried to steal away all of Krishna's friends and the cows also, just to test if Krishna was God. So after all the cows and friends were stolen, Krishna manifested his unlimited potencies by reproducing himself as all of his friends and cows for 1 year. When Lord Brahma came again, he was astonished to see how all the cows and cowherd boys that he had stolen were once again there. And then gradually, Krishna revealed himself, that all the cows and cowherd boys who had been present for 1 year were none other than Krishna himself. Lord Brahma was amazed and offered prayers to Krishna, admitting that he could never begin to understand the unlimited glories of God. Krishna, known as Giridhari, lifted Govardhan Hill with only one finger, to protect the residents of Vrindavan. Who can compare with the strength of God? And Krishna's pastimes with the gopis are unrivaled. He stole away the cowherd girl's clothes. He swings with his eternal consort, Srimati Radharani. The Rasa Leela, in which Krishna expanded himself hundreds of times to dance with each gopi simultaneously. No one but Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can possibly do this. Krishna, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, instructed Arjuna in transcendental knowledge. He became the charioteer of Arjuna. And when Arjuna's life was at risk, he picked up a wheel and threatened to kill Bhishmadev. No one can equal these unlimited pastimes of Krishna. No one else, neither human nor demigod or even incarnation, can possibly come equal to Krishna in all of these respects. So our request is, please don't be confused anymore. Try to understand that you simply have to worship one Supreme Lord, Krishna. Then automatically everyone else will be satisfied. Just like when you water the root of the tree, all the leaves and all the branches, they get enough water. But if you try to water one leaf or one branch, you're leaving aside other leaves and other branches, and the tree may die. Similarly, if you worship one demigod, you may be neglecting 33 million others, because there are 33 million demigods. So how are you going to satisfy all the demigods? You satisfy the Supreme God, Krishna. Then all the demigods will be satisfied. Just like by pouring water on the root of the tree, all the leaves and all the branches get watered. So the method for pouring water on the root in this day and age is being given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You simply chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Now I give you this promise that I request anyone here that for 1 year you take down all the pictures of the various different gods which you have on your altar, and you worship Krishna as the one Supreme God. In this 1 year, I guarantee you, you will become more happy than you have ever become in your life. If anyone does this very, very strictly, and what do I mean by worship? I mean chanting Hare Krishna mantra, because in this age, it is described, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kaluva nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. In this age, the worship of Krishna is done by the chanting of his holy name. If anyone will take up chanting 16 rounds a day on their japa beads, just like all of these persons have done here, you will become the happiest man sitting in this room.